Hello everyone, this is Ildiko here. I am here today with a journal page, a process video of creating a journal page. This is for the Artful Evidence Facebook group challenge that is run by Rachel Black. You can go ahead and check out her blog at artfulevidence.blogspot.com, or you can check her channel. YouTube channel is Rach0113, and you can find out more about the details about this weekly challenge. This week's theme was Doodles, and I already know at this point what I'm trying to create. I'm working on making sky. I used liquid watercolor paint from Michael's. It's Artist Loft brand, and some water, and I'm trying to create a drippage going across the background. This is going to be a sky, and I'm drying the paper, picking up paint, dripping it across, picking up more paint. Here I'm actually picking up the extra watercolor paint from my craft mat, and I am going to be keeping these as backgrounds for future index card projects. That was just a dirty stamp I cleaned into the watercolor paint. Here I'm using white dilution spray, and I'm trying to lighten up or muddy up a little bit more the background in a few spots because it became a little bit too blue. I needed a little break between the lines and between the darker areas. And I'm drying it, adding more paint, drying it. This process is all about layering the paint and the drippings. And then I go and find a piece of tissue paper. I always use tissue paper to blot off extra paint from my craft mat or the pages that I'm working on. So I always have these crumpled, colorful, trashy pieces that are absolutely perfect for collaging. And that's what I'm working on right now, using Liquitex matte medium and ripping the pieces up. I'm gluing them down, layering them on top of each other until I fill up the bottom section of my journal page. These are going to be mountains, and you will see me creating different lines in them. But first, because I am going to be creating doodles and I'm going to be using a micron marker, I cover the whole picture with the extra gel medium, and I also glue down the extra tissue paper in my scrappy journal that I'm just using for cleaning stencils and gluing down extra paper pieces that I have left from projects. Then it's time to trim the edges of the page and working some more on the background. I need to develop it further. I am trying to find some of my new stamps that I mentioned in the last video I ordered from scrapbook.com on sale. These are really nice little background stamps from Prima Finnabar collection. First I selected a script stamp, and I'm using the aquamarine archival ink for adding designs in the background, and then I'm using this random dotted stamps with the green leaf green archival ink, and going around mostly the edges and almost like creating a frame with the green stamp. Then comes the 0.3 micron pen, and I am outlining these dripped lines, and that is going to be my doodling for the project. As I mentioned, the theme of this week's challenge is doodles, and it didn't need to fill the whole page, so I opted for doodling some clouds, and I am working on the arrangement right now. I have this bird stamp from one of the first stamp sets I bought. It is by TPC Studio, and the set's name is Vintage Bird Cages. So I stamp one bird and I cut it out, and then I try to find the right placement for it. After that's done, I outline the mountains, and actually I just break up the green area with several lines. Then I go back and start the doodles. It is quite time consuming even in a small area if you want to do it well. So most of the doodling is edited out of the video. You don't need to see me doing the same pattern over and over again. Some of the designs are quite simple and some of them are a lot more complicated. I still enjoy doing them. Finally, I will go and outline these cloud forms, let's call them cloud shapes, cloud forms, with a 0.5 marker, just to make sure that when I run out of the lines gets covered, just clean up the whole thing. Then I have no more doodling footage for you. And now it is time to create some distance in the picture. So I need to lighten up the bottom of the sky. So I am going to reach for my white Stabilo all pencil and really work it into the bottom of the sky, and then I go ahead and activate the pencil marks with water, try to blend them together. I also use the white Stabilo all pencil for creating highlights on the mountains, and the black Stabilo all pencil is there for creating shadows. In the beginning though, I was using a Faber-Castell watercolor graphite pencil in an 8B because I did not want to have jet black marks on the bottom of the page. I wanted to have more of a gray tone to balance out the darkness of the clouds, those cloud marks that I made with the pen, but it wasn't dark enough, so I used the Faber-Castell Artist Pit Pen in cool gray, I think, and used that one also for making the marks a little bit sharper. And then again, here comes the white Stabilo, working on the mountains, highlights, shadows, then a touch of color. The yellow watercolor pencil is also from Faber-Castell. It's the Albrecht Dürer series. And finally, I think after about an hour and a half blending and doodling and shading, the project background came together. After that, the only thing was left to do is find a sentiment. I used a sticker that you see on my craft mat right now. The sticker is from the Tim Holtz Small Talk set. Then I went around the sticker with the black StazOnning. The bird had to be outlined. And finally, I added some scribbles with the marker on the mountains and edged the whole page, and then it was all finished. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.